I'm now joined by Fox 26 legal analyst Chris Tritico to talk about the verdict reached in the Santa Fe High School shooting civil trial. So, Chris, when you heard the verdict, were you surprised at all?
Not really. The parents not being held liable, I was not surprised at all. It's very hard in Texas to hold parents responsible for the intentional acts of their children. And so I really was not surprised.
Now, we do know that the jury said that it was 80% fault of Demetrios, that he should be liable, 80%, 20%. The gun manufacturing company or the gun store where he got the ammunition. So what happens in terms of Demetrios actually giving any of that money or the gun shop giving any money?
So with Demetrios being held 80% responsible, that means the gun company doesn't owe any money at all. All of the liability now falls on Demetrios, and he will never have any money. In all likelihood, he's never going to get out of the mental institution he's in right now. And so that means this case effectively is over, and no money will ever exchange hands. Now, the good news is, of course, we know that the gun company already settled for $1 million per family, and they've gotten $1 million each. Now, that is a pittance for what this case should have been worth, in my view, but they've gotten something for their losses, and that's what they'll get, and that's it.
But the gun company did settle outside of court. So
that's what I mean.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what happens now to his parents?
Nothing. I mean, they were tried, and the jury said they are not responsible. They're not liable, and that's the end of the case.
And so I know that you've dealt with cases similar to this. So what, obviously, the mindset of the victims' families, I'm sure you've talked to some in similar situations. What are they thinking?
Well, look, these are difficult cases, and it's hard to fathom what it's like to go through this as a victim. Mm-hmm. But Texas law makes it extremely difficult in a civil case to hold a parent responsible for the acts of their child. We hold the people who do it responsible, and that's what happened here. Demetrius was held responsible for what he did, and that's what the law says should happen. A parent is generally and typically not responsible for the intentional torts of their children. And if we think that through logically, every day a child goes out and they get in fights and they do things, and the parents aren't responsible for the things we don't know their children are going to do. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened here. This was just to the ultimate, the nth degree. It's sad, it's a horrible result, but the law generally does not hold the parents responsible for those acts.
All right, Chris, thank you for that insight.
You bet.